Hi, Sean Mahoney here. I'm an engineer at NFPA in our technical services group, and I want to talk today about this, which is a fire alarm strobe, as someone referred to it as, but in NFPA 72, the National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code, this is referred to as a visual notification appliance. And what this does is it provides a flashing light to visibly notify occupants that there's a need to evacuate a building or relocate within a building. And these units run off of typically about 24 volts DC, and they come in different candela ratings, and it's referred to as effective candela, and that is basically a measure of how bright a flashing light is. And because these flash, we need to use the effective candela rating, and the different candela ratings will coincide with different size spaces that they can cover. So the lower the candela rating, the smaller the space that they can cover, but the higher the candela rating, the larger the space they can cover. Now, these come in, typically are adjustable, so you can adjust the candela rating of the unit itself. So for example, I'm going to open this one up, and you can see right inside of there's a little adjuster here, and it's going to be hard to see, but you can see there's numbers right there. So if I were to pull this adjuster out, I could actually change the candela rating and make this brighter. Right now, you can see in all of these units will have a way of identifying what they're set at. You can hardly really see that in there, but that says right now, I can see that it says 15 candela. So I know that a 15 candela rating per NFPA 72 can cover up to a 20 foot by 20 foot space, or a 6.1 meter by 6.1 meter space. Now, it's also important that these are mounted properly. So they're designed to throw the light over that space when they're mounted at a specified height. So NFPA 72 requires that these are mounted so the entire lens is not lower than 80 inches or 2.03 meters above the finished floor, and not greater than 96 inches or 2.44 meters above the finished floor. Now, if I have a low ceiling in which I can't mount this higher than 80 inches or 2.03 meters, then I'm going to need to reduce the effective candela, and I need to mount this within 6 inches of that ceiling. So that's in there in 72 about how you can reduce that candela, or reduce the size of space that each one of these can cover based on mounting it lower than 80 inches. But it's not that common, so I'm not necessarily going to go over that now. If you're interested in learning more about fire alarm basics, I did do a blog series last year, and I will link the one specifically about notification appliances below if you want to learn more. Also, if you're interested in learning more about mounting heights of wall-mounted fire alarm equipment, appliances, and devices, we did put together a little job aid that shows all of the required mounting heights for all those wall-mounted appliances. That is actually linked in the fire alarm pull station installation height blog that I did a month or two ago. So I'll link that below as well. You can go in there and download that fact sheet. It's based on some artwork that we put in our NFPA link, which is our online platform for codes and standards and then enhanced content. That's based on some artwork that we created for some direct navigation. So if you're interested in learning more about Link, you can go to that fact sheet. It'll tell you how to learn more about Link and be able to find all that information in NFPA Link and use the direct navigation.